Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Liz, with Sneak Peeks Tarot. This reading here is for Virgo for April 2018. If you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing. If you're not, please subscribe, hit the alarm, hit the like, so you can get my latest videos. As always, guys, follow your own intuition in any situation, okay? If this does not resonate with you, then check out your moon and rising signs. Also, this is a general reading. It might not resonate with you because it's for millions of people. Okay, guys? So, we're going to jump right in. Like I said, this is for Virgo. As you can see, I already laid out the cards, and there's clarifier underneath them. I took out an outcome card for you. You'll get to that later. And if we need any further clarifications, I am going to use a regular deck card. Okay, guys? So, let's get right in. All right. For my Virgos, the first card we got here is the Seven of Coins. And the Seven of Coins talks about planting the seeds, or, you know, being a little patient. You know, it's like kind of trial and error, like planning and trying to get things, this can be about work, okay? This is a general reading. So this can be you working really hard towards a goal, all right? Planting the seeds so that you future could reap the souls, like, how you say? Plant the seeds so in the future you can enjoy the fruits of your labor, okay? But it talks about being patient, because this can be somebody that has been putting a lot of energy into working and not seeing the outcome, or maybe not even seeing the money they deserve, like a raise, okay, guys, from working so much, and you're not seeing the your process, like your financial process increase from putting so much work into something. For some of you, this is a general reading. It could be for work. For others, it could be about investing. It could be about investing in a project, emotional investment, also in anything, family, friends, loved ones. But it talks about trial and error. It talks about, getting yourself back up after things don't go the way you want, or having patience until things turn out the right way, okay? So with the Seven of Coins, I tell you, Virgos, have a little patience, whatever you've been investing in, or wherever you've been working at, that you've been working hard. You're a seven, so you're still trying to put a lot of energy and work into this, all right? It's not ready yet for the moment where you either get a raise, or it's not ready yet for you to take the next level if it's emotional, okay, guys? So just have a little bit of patience right now. Patience is a virtue, okay? The next card I got for my Virgos is the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups talks about an emotional fulfillment, talks about, reaping what you sow. Basically, this is perfect. This is about your emotional happiness, about the things that make you emotional happy. And you've been investing a lot of your emotions into something that you feel as though makes you happy. Like I said, it could be family, friends, love. It could be work. It could be you investing in a good job that you've been really wanting to make a career out of, okay? And it's just, you haven't been hitting the pinnacles you want yet, but you will get there, all right? At this point, just give a little patience. You're investing wisely because it's bringing you a lot of stability and happiness, okay? So just have a little patience there, all right, Virgo? Because with the Nine of Cups, talks about all the different aspects of your life, these cups being filled slowly but surely, getting things to a point in your life where it's comfortable and you can relax and feel happy and content. So if you've been working hard at a job and you've been, putting a lot of work into this job, and you've been hoping for a raise or a better position in your job, just give it a little bit of time, okay? Because you are investing wisely. You are taking the time out, and it's bringing you the emotional satisfaction you need, okay? Or it can. If it's not bringing you the emotional satisfaction you need right now, it will be bringing it to you, sooner or later. That's why it's telling you to have a little bit of patience, because what you're working in and you're investing in is actually towards your better good. So Virgo, keep up the good job, because anything that comes that fills these cups emotionally, that can help you, be happy and be satisfied, be content in your life. There's a lot of different aspects in people's lives. And when you have the Nine of Cups, it talks about every aspect of your life, your work, your friends, your family, your lover, your husband, your wife. It can even talk about projects, stuff that you've been putting a lot of time into, but it's stuff that brings you happiness and joy, stuff that brings you satisfaction. And that's what is really telling you that even though you're not seeing the outcome of it, even though you have to have a little bit of patience, you have a lot of satisfaction, and you're very happy with your work aspect right now, or you're very happy in the things you've been investing in, okay? So, just give it a little bit of time, because you are investing for your happiness. This is your happiness. Okay, and then we also got the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords talks about communication. Somebody's coming in. Maybe you'll get a message. The Knight of Swords talks about communication, but talks about like that very blunt energy, very open and honest energy. Somebody is a no nonsense type of energy. And Virgos, you could be carrying this no nonsense energy right now. Okay, this you want to communicate something. You're trying to communicate something. With the patience card, you've been having a lot of patience on something that makes you happy, that you've been communicating on, that you've been trying to connect with or communicate with. With the Knight of Swords, someone's either coming in, or you're going to give somebody a message, or somebody's coming to you to give a message, okay? Sometimes with the Knight of Swords, it can be such a blunt action that, I tell people, watch how you say things. Sometimes we say things and it can come out not the right way. But, as long as you're speaking truth and honesty, just being graceful about it, or, in a nice way, people, then you shouldn't have no problems communicating with this person. But I see that whoever you're trying to communicate with is somebody that brings you your happiness. It's somebody, you've been patiently waiting to make this communication, whether it's with, like I said, it could be with a job. You could be waiting on a communication from a job, like waiting for your job to give you some type of notification that you're going to get a raise, or you're going to get a higher position. Some of you are waiting for, how you can, a reevaluation that you can, with your job, that can increase your pay or increase your job position, like take you a step higher. And for a lot of you, it's just saying to have patience, because, everything has to work up to his level anyways. This is like a trial and error card. It's like, you're still working out the kinks and stuff. And, the energy is letting you know that, in other words, let me complete A through B before we get to C, so that way, that's why patience is so important sometimes. People want to rush things, and, you could have been working at a job for a long time. I'm not saying you didn't, but, for some of you that are waiting for that raise, or waiting for some type of communication or some papers to fill out about a raise, or even just switching jobs, you know what I mean? Maybe you have a job and you've been thinking about being able to start a different job. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to wait, until you can get that job, until you get a feedback, a call back from the job, or some type of communications, all right? But for others of you, Virgo, you've been patiently waiting for somebody you've been emotionally invested in. It can be a lover, or it can be just your own family, and you're ready to communicate with this person. So you're coming in a little fast, because I think Knight of Swords comes in as a fast energy too. Not so fast as the Knight of Wands, because that's a very fast, passionate energy. But the Knight of Swords is very blunt and aggressive, and very cut out, get right to the point type energy. It's like very blunt. It's like, I'm going to say what I got to say, and that's it. Whether it's with a job or somebody, just be aware of how you express or communicate at that moment, because the type of energy you have, being the Knight of Swords, you can be very aggressive or forward, you know what I mean? And, you want to just make sure you understand your aggression and how forward you're going in whatever it is, work or a relationship or with your family, okay, guys? Even with your friends. Just know that you're communicating, and, you want to communicate, especially if somebody is something that brings you happiness, or you're very emotionally involved in, you want to communicate it in a way where it's nice and not so aggressive, okay? Even if it's about love. Don't be too aggressive on love, all right? All right, so the next card we got is the Wands, Two of Wands. And the Two of Wands talks about making decisions, not knowing which action to take, which way to go, left or right. You know what I mean? Which box to pick, up or, one or two. This is the This is an action card, though. That means you got to take action. You got to make a choice. This is telling you it's time to make a choice. So whatever you're communicating here, you actually have to make the decision to take action on it. You have to go after it. Go for it. So if it's a job, take action. Let your boss know that you need a raise, or let your boss know that you want a higher position in your job. If it's with your family, let them know, whatever you're waiting for. If it's, family or, orientated, then make a decision about what makes you emotionally happy within your family, and how to move forward with the patient's card. Try never, like, how to try things differently, maybe to succeed better. Okay. In a it could be in a love reading, kind of. It talks about picking between two people, okay? Taking action on not knowing which person you want to be with, all right? Work can be not knowing what job to be in, which job you want, or which position you want. So you really got to take under consideration this Two of Wands, because it's a decision that needs made, and you need to take action on it, okay? So if you're communicating this decision-making to the proper people, you shouldn't have no problems. Like I said, your boss, your spouse, or family members, or whatnot. But it all depends on where you stand in your life, Virgo. If some of you, this might be about work, some of you might be about love, some of you might just be a family type reading. So I'm just saying, though, decisions you make in life, okay? This is a decision you have to make. You have to communicate your decision. With the Knight of Swords, you're coming in a little aggressive, and with Two of Wands, talks about you're coming in very passionate, and you really want to take action on something, and you really want to choose something, but you need to make sure you're choosing what you want is right. Have a little patience, though, okay? Not everything comes right away, but at the end of the day, are you going left? Are you going right? Are you taking this position? Are you taking that position at work? Are you being with this person or that person? Are you building your house this way or that way? But it just all depends on who you are. Two talks about partnerships also. So, you can be even dealing with a co-partner at work, or anybody. You just working with another person. This could be you taking action with another person, though, because Two talks about partnership. It talks about decisions and knowing, separating the one and the two, and picking one or the other, kind of like making that decision. If you can see, there's a key right there, and you got to know which key you want, which box you want, which action to take. So, consider, you're making a decision, and you have to communicate it, though, but you are making a decision between something you want to take action on. And then we got the Hangman. The Hangman is looking at things from a different perspective. All right, guys, it's just looking at things from a different view, taking your time, and, because you're not seeing things happen the way you want, and you're kind of losing your patience a little bit, because this is, like I said, this is the trial and error card. This is like getting up and falling, kind of, not getting to where you want to be yet, whether it's with work, love, family, etc. But with the Hangman, it talks about being on the waiting still, being still and waiting, okay? And, just hanging around waiting for something to happen. But, what you're not getting with the Hangman is telling you to look at things differently, so you can see why things aren't proceeding the way you want them to proceed, or elevating the way you want them. Because, you will be successful in your life, as long as you put whatever, you're following your heart, and you're investing emotionally on things that make you happy. But maybe things aren't working out the way you want sometimes, and it's becoming a little frustrating, and that can happen. For my Virgos, I know you get frustrating when you want something so bad and you just can't have it yet, or you're expecting to move up in your job and you haven't gotten to that position yet. But it's just saying to look at things differently, like take a perspective, like just look at it differently to see what's really going on. Maybe you'll get a little bit of clarity or an epiphany, letting you know that this is why things haven't proceeded the way you want. But really taking the time to think and looking at things differently, and don't make, because with the Wands, it's telling you to take action on something that you kind of been really holding on to, like not letting go, but not yet holding on too tight. It's like in between. It's like you're suspending, in midair of not knowing what to do. So it's telling you to get a clarifier or a better perspective of why things aren't going the way you want them to, or why, things are taking longer than usual, you really need to just, look at things differently before you take this action, okay? Or you want to take action so bad because this is the passion. You want to make that decision so bad, but it's telling you to just make sure you look at things, in different perspectives, so you know where you really level out at, where you belong at, where the situation falls in, okay? And the last card we got here is the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords talks about ending a cycle. So this talks, when I look at this Ten of Swords, talks about a couple of things, okay? For some of you, this can be a lot of negative thoughts, and a lot of negative energy has been lingering, and you finally decided to close that cycle of your life out, or to let go and release those negativities that's been holding you back. It's ending something. This is a closure card. This is an end card. So, you're ending, even though you've been beat down, worn down, or just overworked, talks about you taking the initiative of ending something and going for something that brings you more emotional happiness. Okay, so when I see the decision card, it says that you do take action and you end up closing one cycle of your life. So you are going to pick a decision. You are going to make a proper decision. And when you make that decision, you're going to realize how much negativity and how much negative things you release when you make that decision. Because obviously, if you're picking between two things, I don't care if it's two jobs, two people, family situations, one of those situations really ain't serving you well. And when you really realize it and you close that chapter of your life, all these negative things, all these swords are just going to go with it too. So hopefully you make the right decision, okay, Virgo, and release anything negative in your life that's bringing you down, or don't make you happy. All right. You just can't have 3 or 4 of your cups in life filled and be just halfway satisfied. You got to bring yourself emotional fulfillment. You got to be happy in life. You got to bring the experiences in life that make you happy. And you got to connect with those type of vibrations. You can't be negative. You can't be around people that bring a lot of negativity, or bring you down, or make your self-esteem lower, or just not right for you. Sometimes you have to communicate with other people that you just can't, you have to let go of the negative parts of them aspects and move on with something, take action on something more emotionally fulfilling for you, and happier for you. Something that fills all your cups, not just 2 or 3. If you want to be happy in life, happiness comes from all aspects of your life being filled and being comfortable in those positions in your life. But if you're closing out chapters in your life that are negative or hurting you emotionally or mentally, always got you thinking negatively, then you need to close those chapters out. So that way you can get that 9 of Cups, or feel the 9 of Cups more. That's why I think the perspective card is here. Like the Hangman telling you, look at things differently, because something in your life right now, it's not working out, okay? It's trial and error. It's not getting to that point because it's negative and it needs to be released. And you need to let go. Learn how to let go, okay, Virgo? Learn how to let go of things that no longer serve you. Close those negative chapters in your life. If you know something's not working out, let it go. Because, if it's not working out now, I'm not saying it's not going to work out in the future, but right now, it don't serve you in your life. Things that serve you in your life, things that bring you happiness, shouldn't be forced. They should be easily flow in your life. And if something's, if you're resisting your own happiness by putting yourself in a position where you're around negative people, or a job that beats you down, and you're just happy with the pay, but you don't realize that this job is beating you down, you really got to make some decisions, because money's not everything. And sometimes, even though we invested a lot, money's not everything when it comes to work. Or even though we invested time and energy and years into a relationship, that doesn't mean you got to stay somewhere where you're not happy and miserable, or it don't bring you the emotional fulfillment. The same thing with work. Just because you've been working there for 10 years, and, just because you've been there for 10 years, that don't mean you should stay there. If it's beating you down and you're at a point in your life where you need to let go of this job, then you need to release it, because you need to find something better. You need to make a decision for your emotional happiness. You know what I mean? You need to take action on something and release anything that's negative in your life, okay? Underneath these cards, I got clarifiers. So for the first clarifier, we're going to do the 7, the patience card, the trial and error card, having patience, because, this is somebody putting work in it, but not seeing the fruits of their labor yet. And it talks about 4 of Swords, and 4 of Swords talks about taking a rest. Taking time to think things over, okay? You got the Four of Swords to clarify the Seven of Coins. And it talks about taking time for yourself and resting and really, take a vacation or just take a step back from all the emotional stress that's going on in your life, or even maybe take a vacation from your job that you've been putting a lot of time into. Maybe it's time you need a break from that job since you're not seeing an outcome to it. But you need to really take the time out to, you know, either get some rest, some vacation, or just time to really think things over, okay? That's what the Four of Swords is telling me, that, you need to have patience. You need to take your time. You really need to think things through and, or rest, take a couple of days off about this whole situation, whether it's work, family, or job, or love. Really take time for yourself. Even though you're not seeing the difference in what's going on, but maybe if you take some rest, like the hangman saying the same thing, maybe you'll get a different perspective if you just step out the box for a minute, okay? With these two wands, step out both the boxes, and, you're the key in the middle. So follow what you're really passionate, what really brings you happiness in your life. All right, for the next card, we got the Nine of Cups. We clarified with the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands talks about getting recognition. So it talks about, it's kind of that Leo energy, is that fiery energy, okay, Virgo? You might even have Leo in your chart, but is getting that, wanting, if we're talking about work, it's like you want your boss to see the good job you've been doing. You want a raise. You want him to notice that you've been putting a lot of work into your job, okay? And you deserve it. You know what I mean? Like you are good at what you're doing, okay? And, you're happy and you really, you want recognition for the hard work you've been putting into something, all right? That's what the Six of Wands tells me, that you want recognition for the hard work you've been putting into something. Once again, it could be a relationship. You could be putting a lot of emotional investment in a relationship, and you want recognition from that person saying, look, I'm trying to, meet you halfway or be there with you, okay? It could be about a job, wanting your boss to recognize that you've been putting a lot of work in and you deserve a raise, or you deserve a step higher position than where you are now, okay? But this is you wanting recognition, okay? About something that you've been investing in that's been making you emotionally happy, something about your emotional happiness, all right? So you want recognition with your emotional happiness. You want people to see that you're emotionally happy in a situation when you're doing that situation. So if you're at work and you want your boss to see that you love your job. We know you love your job. Some of you, not all of you, but some of you really love your job, and you want your boss to see that you work hard and you've been putting a lot of time into your job and you've been investing in your job and you want a higher position or a higher pay, okay? For others of you, it can be you emotionally investing in your relationship, in your family, and, not everybody giving you credit for the things you do, and you want recognition. You want people to see like, hey, I bust my hiney too to work and to pay bills and to clean up and do what I got to do. And if you're not getting recognition, then, that's probably why the Nine of Swords is coming in, because I'll tell you what, with this recognition card, you got that's you communicating. That's you telling people like, hey, I've been doing a good job and this is what I deserve, basically, okay? And you get what you deserve and you're communicating what you deserve and you want to take action. You want the higher position, you want the higher pay, or you want to commit in a relationship. You want not to just be talking, you want to be boyfriend and girlfriend, or you don't want to be boyfriend and girlfriend, you want to be husband and wife. It doesn't matter. The commitment, the thing is that you are putting a lot of time and investment in something that makes you happy, and you want them to see it. You want the other person, the other partner here to see it, whether it's your boss, a spouse, or even just your family, your kids, to see how much you've been putting into your life and investing in your family, okay? But at the end of the day, it's talking about communicating that, because you want recognition. You want people to see you're doing good. And the clarifier for that the Knight of Swords, that communicating card, is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords talks about moving away from like different problems or negative things or stuff that really don't serve you, like moving off that rocky moment in your life, where you're going through all these different problems and stress, and moving something more calm, because that's what you're looking for, more calm and more harmonious for you. With the 6, some of you can be moving. Some of you decide that you're not, you could be moving or switching jobs, okay? So, you could be moving from the house you're at just to bring more closing out that part of your life and decide to move. For others of you, you could be switching jobs because you're not getting the increase in pay or the, how you call it, the promotion, okay? For others of you, it can just be getting over a whole bunch of problematic stuff that's been going on in your life and moving on to something more relaxed and making decisions, and communicating that you're no longer happy with what's going on in your life and really pushing forward, okay? For the 2 of Wands, for your 2 of Wands, your decision making, the clarifier card is the 5 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords is making decisions through an argument or through, it could be through, you can be actually mentally trying to make this decision, okay? Like, it can be, for some of you, this can be that you've been having a lot of arguments at work and you decide to switch jobs because you're not getting what you want, or it caused a lot of disagreements because you're not getting the promotion or the job your financial increase that you deserve for working hard at your job. For others of you, it could be petty arguments in your home that you've been dealing with, and you finally communicate to them, hey, this is not what I want to do, this is not how my family wants to be run, and you make a decision to communicate that you don't want to argue no more. You don't want to fight no more. You know what I mean? You don't want that in your life. You want to see things from a different perspective to change what's going on in your family life, your work life, or, friends and family. But, like I said, you have to make a decision. You have to take action, and you have to communicate. You have to express how you feel about the situation, okay, guys? And you have to make a decision about, wanting to move forward to something that's going to be more harmonious and calmer for you, all right? And especially you want to move away from all the arguments, because that's pretty much what it is. With the 5 of Swords here, it talks about, picking up the pieces, and because, believe it or not, this card is reverse. All right, guys? So it's not saying you're having arguments now. It's saying these arguments were either in the past or you decided to walk away from the arguments, and something that's bringing you a lot of pettiness. I mean, it could be a lot of negative arguments, just small arguments. It could be negative thoughts in your mind, but you're trying to release that. You're trying to let go of those situations. You don't want to be there no more. And by communicating that, it will help you move forward to something more peaceful. For the Hangman, you got the 8 of Wands, and the 8 of Wands is fast communication. So, once you get this different perspective about what's going on in your life, you'll be able to communicate a whole lot faster with people. Or a lot of things are going to happen fast, because this is a fast energy card. This can be a lot of fast communication, or this can be a lot of fast things happening at one time. And with the 8 of Wands and then the 10 of Swords being right after it, it talks about, things happening fast once you close out a cycle. So once you decide that you no longer want to deal with this thing, whether it's a job, a person, or a situation at home, things are going to happen so fast that it's just going to be, you just got to be careful, okay? Because sometimes we miss things, we miss to dot the I's or cross the T's when things are happening fast. Just stay grounded, and, because this is a lot of passion. This is a lot of fire energy, and it's coming very fast. Anything with these 8 of Wands is like fast energy, okay? So you want to just, be a little precautious about doing things too fast. But once you make that decision and you see things from a different perspective, things are going to happen very fast, okay? Now, underneath the 10 of Swords, once you close out that chapter of your life or change that chapter, you're going to end. There's another reverse card. If the sword's pointing that way, is reverse. If the sword is pointing this way, is upright. So this is you. Once this chapter closes, you went from a 10 straight down to a 9. They both swords. So you eliminated one of these swords. And that sword was the one that kept you up at night crying and stressing, analyzing, always, keeping you depressed. All right? So you're releasing that one part of your life that's keeping you negative and depressed. And you can start releasing these negative thoughts and energy out your mind, like letting them go and pushing forward instead of, thinking differently, seeing things differently in a different perspective can help also. But This talks about you closing something in your life. Either you leave that job, you quit, you know what I mean, or you close a relationship, and because it's not bringing you the emotional satisfaction. Like I said, the job too. It could be some of you are just decided that you no longer want to be in a relationship and you move out. And it could be for some of y'all, it could be divorce or separation. But this is making a decision of not dealing with something that's not making you happy no more. And it's, out of all these negative things you done, you close one of these chapters in your life out where you can start releasing the negative swords. You got a lot of swords here. All right, I'm gonna move this real quick so you can see. You see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 swords. So a lot of this is about thinking and taking a lot of mental clarity into what's going on in your life. And then wands are fast energy. So it's about taking action, to move along in your life and move forward, okay? But making a decision that if something no longer satisfies you, if you're not getting the high paid that you expected, or you're not stepping up in a relationship wise to the next level, whatever it is, this is all about what makes you happy. If you're not getting the recognition you deserve, then you need to let them go. Whether it's job, love, and family, I can't say that, but if you try very hard with family, let's say you're somebody that has kids, right? Sometimes you can be more happier if you just, I don't know. When it comes to family, it's difficult because you may never know what's going on in a family aspect, but it's about not tolerating the stuff that don't make you happy no more, and communicating, to see if you come up with a different plan or do things a different way, making a decision to do things differently. Okay, so I do got a clarifier, an outcome card for you so you could take with you for April, okay, Virgos? And you got the Two of Ariel. And the Two of Ariel says it's important to have balance, working multiple jobs or projects at once, making work fun. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, for some of you that are working, y'all putting a lot of time into your job, and you need to make a decision, make sure that it's bringing you the happiness you need, the emotional or the financial stability, the financial income you need. For some of you, y'all working a little bit too much and you need to find a little bit of time to play, so that way you don't, guys, keep balance. That's why some people overwork too much. But the Two of Ariel is the Two of Pentacle cards. And this is multitasking, doing a lot of things, at one time. So for the month of April, my Virgos, you've been multitasking. You're going to be multitasking. So you got to stay balanced and grounded and focus on the things that make you happy and look at things from a different perspective. If something don't bring you your happiness, you need to release and let it go. Okay, guys? So that's all I have for you, for my Virgos for April 2018. As always, follow your own intuition. I love and respect who you are in this world. Namaste.